Hello everyone, this is Akanksha. I hope you guys might have heard about cache memory. If you haven't, no worries. In this video, we're gonna learn about what is cache memory, how does it work, its characteristics, and many more contents like levels of cache memory, its performance, its mapping, and applications of cache memory, and the main thing, advantages and disadvantages of cache memory as well. Now let's see what is cache memory in computer organization. Basically, it is a special very high-speed memory. The cache is the smaller and faster memory that stores copies of the data from frequently used main memory locations. There are various different independent caches in a CPU, which stores instructions and data. The most important use of cache memory is that it is used to reduce the average time to access data from the main memory. Now let's catch up with the characteristics of cache memory. So firstly, it is an extremely fast memory type that acts as a buffer between RAM and the CPU. Cache memory holds frequently requested data and instructions so that they are immediately available to the CPU when needed. Cache memory is costlier than main memory or disk memory but more economical than CPU registers. Cache memory is also used to speed up and synchronize with the high-speed CPU.
I am Ayush from Group 4 and today I am going to present on the topic levels of cache memory and cache performance. Cache memory is a type of fast memory that stores frequently accessed data and instructions for quick access by CPU. In the modern computer systems, cache memory is typically organized into multiple levels, each with a different size, speed, and proximity to sensors. These levels of cache memory are designed to reduce the average access time for frequently used data and instructions while minimizing the amount of data that needs to be retrieved from slower memory. So let's speak about level 1 cache memory. Level 1 cache memory is the smallest and fastest cache in a computer system. It is located on the CPU chip itself, making it the closest and most quickly accessible cache to the processor. Level 1 cache is typically divided into two sections, the data cache and the instruction cache. The data cache stores the CPU is currently working on, while the instruction cache stores the instruction that CPU will execute the next. The primary purpose of level 1 cache is to reduce the time the CPU spends waiting for data and instructions to be retrieved from main memory. This is to be achieved by storing frequently used data and instructions, allowing the CPU to quickly access them what is needed. It typically ranges from few kilobytes and to a few hundred kilobytes, but it has lowest latency and highest bandwidth of all cache levels. The organization of level 1 cache is highly optimized for speed and efficiency. Level 1 cache is also usually implemented at SRAM, which stands for Static Random Access Memory Technology, which is faster and more power efficient by DRAM, which is Dynamic Random Access Memory. Both are used in main memory. In summary, level 1 cache is essential component of modern CPUs, providing fast and efficient access to frequently used data and instructions. Its small size and high speed making it a deal for storing the most critical data and instructions, and its close proximity to CPU makes latency improving overall system performance. So let's come to level 2 cache, which is the second level of cache in computer system, typically located on CPU chip or on a separate chip close to CPU. L2 cache is large and slower than level 1 cache but still faster than the main memory. It has higher capacity, typically ranging from few hundred kilobytes to several megabytes. The purpose of level 2 cache is to provide a larger working set for the CPU, while level 1 cache stores frequently used data and instructions. Level 2 cache stores a large set of frequently accessed data and instructions. This allows the CPU to access a larger portion of its working set quickly, reducing the amount of time spent on data to be retrieved from main memory. Level 2 cache is typically organized in set associative or fully associative manner, which allows for a larger cache size than level 1 cache while maintaining fast access time. In modern computer systems, level 2 cache is often shared among multiple CPU cores. This allows for better utilization of cache and can improve overall system performance. However, level 2 cache can also introduce additional latency and contention to CPU cores. In conclusion, level 2 cache is an important component of modern computer systems, providing a larger working set for the CPU and reducing amount of time spent on data to be retrieved from main memory. Now we will talk about the level 3 cache, which is the third layer of cache in computer systems, typically located in motherboard or a separate chip on CPU package. Level 3 cache is larger than level 2 cache but slower than level 1 and level 2 cache. It has a much higher capacity than level 1 and level 2 cache, typically ranging from several megabytes to tens of megabytes. The primary purpose of level 3 cache is to provide a larger working set for multiple cores in a shared memory system. As modern computer systems increasingly incorporate multiple CPU cores, L3 cache can be shared among these cores to improve system performance. It is designed to reduce the amount of time CPU core spends waiting for data to be retrieved from main memory by storing a large number of frequently accessed data and instructions. This requires more sophisticated cache coherence protocol to manage contention between CPU cores and ensure the consistency of shared data. In summary, level 3 cache is an important component of a modern computer systems, providing a larger working set for multiple CPU cores in shared memory system. Its larger capacity and slower access time makes it ideal for storing a large set of frequently accessed data and instructions, reducing the amount of time spent for data to be retrieved from main memory. So the topmost hierarchy and the level 4 cache memory is now beginning. It is relatively in addition to some high-end computer system. It is not widely used as L1, L2 or L3 cache. Level 4 cache is larger than level 3 cache but slower than all other cache levels. And it's typically located on motherboard or in a separate chip close to CPU. The primary purpose of level 4 cache is to provide an even larger working set for multiple CPU in shared memory system. As computers continue to incorporate more and more CPU cores, the demand for shared level cache becomes greater. Level 4 cache can help reduce the amount of time each CPU spends waiting for data to be retrieved from main memory by storing an even larger set of frequently accessed data and instruction. It is typically implemented using DRM technology, which allows a larger capacity than SRM used in L1, L2 and L3 cache. However, DRM is slower than SRM technology, so level 4 cache has slower access time than all other cache levels. Currently, level 4 cache is not a standard feature in many computer systems and is primarily used in high-end server systems. It is typically only implemented systems that require a very large working set where the added cost of cache is justified by improved performance. In summary, the level 4 cache is a relatively new addition to some high-end computer systems, providing an even larger working set for multiple CPU cores. Performance is a critical aspect of computer system performance. Cache memory is used to temporarily store data and instructions to reduce the time for processor to access them. The faster the processor can process a data, the faster the system can respond to users' requests. There are several factors that affect cache performance. One of the major factor is the size of cache. A larger cache can hold more data, resulting in fewer cache misses and faster access time. However, larger caches may also be slower due to longer access times. The cache hit rate is another important factor that affects performance. A high hit rate means the processor is able to retrieve data from cache most of the time, resulting in faster processing times. However, a low hit rate means that the processor must frequently access data from main memory, resulting in slower processing times. Cache replacement policy is another important factor that affects the performance. When the cache is full, the replacement policy determines which data to be replaced with new data. Sometimes the replacement policies such as the LRU, least recently used data, can result in better cache performance by keeping frequently accessed data in cache. Cache patching is another technique used to improve cache performance. This technique involves predicting which data or instructions the processor will need next and preloading them into the cache. Effective prefetching can significantly reduce the number of cache misses and improve cache performance. Cache coherence protocol manages the consistency of data shared with multiple CPU cores and caches. A well designed cache coherence protocol can improve cache performance by reducing contention and ensuring data security. An appropriate replacement policy can improve cache performance by ensuring that frequently accessed data and instructions are not evicted from the cache prematurely. Cache performance can be affected by another severe factors. Choosing an appropriate cache organization such as set associative or fully associative can also improve cache performance by balancing access time. A high hit rate indicates that the cache is effectively reducing the amount of time spent on waiting for data to be retrieved from the main memory, improving system performance. In a contrast, a low hit rate indicates that the cache is not effectively storing frequently accessed data and instructions, resulting in longer wait times and reduced system performance. In conclusion, the cache performance is a critical factor for the overall performance of a computer system. Understanding the factors such as cache size, replacement policy, coherence protocol is essential for designing efficient and effective cache systems that improve system performance.
Hello everyone, this is Bhupesh. Did you know about what is meant by cache mapping? If you are not aware about cache mapping, let us learn. So, there are three types of cache mapping, that is direct mapping, associative mapping, set associative mapping. So let us learn about direct mapping. The simplest technique known as direct mapping maps each block of main memory into only one possible cache line, or indirect mapping assign each memory block to a specific line in the cache. If a line is previously taken up by a memory block, when a new block needs to be loaded, the old block is trashed. An address space is split into two parts, index field and a tag field. The cache is used to store the tag field, whereas the rest is stored in the main memory. Direct mapping performance is directly proportional to the hit ratio. For purpose of cache access, each main memory address can be viewed as consisting of three fields. The least significant W bits identify a unique word or byte within a block of main memory. In most contemporary machines, the address is at the byte level. The remaining S bits specify one of the two S block of main memory. The cache login interprets these S bits as a tag of SR bits and a line field of R bits. This latter field identifies one of the m is equal to 2 to the power r lines of the cache. Line offset is index bits in the direct mapping. So this was all about the cache direct mapping. Okay, so the second part of cache mapping is associative mapping. In this type of mapping, associative memory is used to store the content and addresses of the memory word. Any block can go into any line of the cache. This means that the word ID bits are used to identify which word in the block is needed, but the tag becomes all of the remaining bits. This enables the placement of any word at any place in the cache memory. It is considered to be fastest and most flexible mapping form in associative mapping. The index bits are 0. So this was all about the associative mapping. Now let us learn about the third part of cache mapping, that is set associative mapping. This form of mapping is an enhanced form of direct mapping where the drawbacks of direct mapping are removed. Set associative addresses the problem of possible thrashing in direct mapping method. It does this by saying that instead of having exactly one line that a block can map to in the cache, we will group a few lines together, creating a set. Then a block in memory can map to any one of the lines of a specific set. Set associative mapping allows each word that is present in the cache can have two or more words in the main memory for the same index. Address set associative cache mapping combines the best of direct and associative cache mapping techniques. In set associative mapping, the index bits are given by the set of bits. In this case, the cache consists of a number of sets, each of which consists of number of lines. So this was all about the cache mapping. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Parth. So now we are going to see application of cache memory. Here are some of the applications of cache memory. First, primary cache. A primary cache is always located on the processor chip. This cache is small and its access time is comparable to that of processor register. Second, secondary cache. Secondary cache is placed between the primary cache and the rest of the memory. It is referred to as the level 2 L2 cache. Often the level 2 cache is also housed on the processor chip. Third, spatial locality of reference. Spatial locality of reference says that there is a chance that the element will be present in close proximity to the reference point, and next time if again searched, then more close proximity to the point of reference. Fourth, temporal locality of reference. Temporal locality of reference uses the latest recently used algorithm will be used. Whenever there is a page fault occurs within a word will not only load the word in the main memory, but the complete page fault will be loaded, because the spatial locality of reference rule says that if you are referring to any word, next word will be referred to in its register. That's why we load complete page table, so the complete block will be loaded.
Hello, myself Aditya. Now we will look onto the advantages and disadvantages of cache memory. Advantages. Cache memory is faster in comparison to main memory and secondary memory. Programs stored by cache memory can be executed in less time. The data access time of cache memory is less than that of the main memory. Cache memory stores data and instructions that are regularly used by the CPU. Therefore, it increases the performance of the CPU. Disadvantages. Cache memory is costlier than primary memory and secondary memory. Data is stored on a temporary basis in cache memory. Whenever the system is turned off, data and instructions stored in cache memory get destroyed. The high cost of cache memory increases the price of computer system. Conclusion. Cache memory is a crucial component in computer architecture that helps speed up the processing of data. There are different types of cache memory, cache replacement policies, and cache coherency protocols that ensure efficient data access and consistency. Understanding cache memory is essential for optimizing the performance of the computer systems. Thank you.